Hello everyone, we are back with the 7th series. We interviewed for you surf legend, world champion, surf photographers, shapers, and many more. We hope you like the series and please stay tuned for more amazing news. Mahalo! Aloha, welcome to the 4th episode of the 7th series of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Today with us from South Africa, surf legend Spider Murphy of Safari Surfboards. We discussed with him about surfboards, and much more. Hello, Mr. Murphy. Welcome to the show. Where are you today?
Today I'm in Durban, South Africa, and it's one of the best surf cities in the world. We can surf nearly every day, except for when there's blue bottles. And, the onshore wind blows in the blue bottles when it's hot weather. Otherwise, we're very, very lucky here. So we live very healthily. As we get older, so we have to eat more healthy to be able to keep up the sport. And and we like to share the stoke with all the people, all our customers. When they have busy lifestyles and stuff like that, they walk in here, they just they let it all go. They're in our surf shop and just enjoying the environment. We have our shaping in our shop front, so the guys can see exactly how we make boards, and we give them tours of the factory, and so we try and keep everybody connected to what we do.
Amazing. So we're gonna talk quite extensively about you and
yes.
your amazing stories. But the first question that I have for you today is, in your opinion, what is the most important thing in surfing?
The most important thing is you've got to understand that we're close to nature, and we've got to love and respect one another. That's the attitude to take, not to get aggressive. You want to get aggressive, then hit the wave hard. When you're surfing, smack the lip. But the whole idea is don't get aggressive with one another, because it's a very special time to share. And we see beautiful things like here. We see the sunrises and the change of the color of the sky. We see dolphins swimming past, and it's something that money can't buy. And we like to, we like all the surfers to respect one another, share the waves, and also when the ladies paddle out, give them a wave as well. Help them, because they're doing amazing things. Surfing is a very hard sport. It's not easy, and you've got to be fit to keep up. Keep it up. And so it's nice to help the ladies, learn to surf fast, and we teach them the technique so they can get that thrill when you go surfing.
It's just as I like what you said about being respectful of the environment.
Yes,
you see the ocean, it gives quite a lot to us, and so
yes.
we should embrace it fully, right? And
yes.
And I like the fact that we should smack the lip all the time if we can.
Yes. Get your anger out on that, but not on the people.
Yeah, not on the people, not at all, exactly. And what was your first proper surfboard? I mean, the one that you were really proud to. Maybe you bought it.
Yes. Yes. So I made my first. I actually joined the Life Saving Club, and I learned to surf there. And then I started off repairing boards. I thought there's a bit of resin hardener, so I started fixing boards. And slowly the repair got bigger and bigger till eventually I could make my own surfboard. So we were small guys, and so we needed smaller boards. So this is what really encouraged me to make my own board, so that we could surf better. And so my mother said to me, "So what do you want to do with your life?" I said, "Well, I'll be a professional lifesaver, and I'll make surfboards for the back room." She says, "I don't know." Come here. She took me by my ear, and she took me to a couple of companies, and eventually I did a carpentry trade. So I learned, and it was the best thing ever for me. So I learned about the tools, and it helped me in my life as well. I could hang boards, I could fix anything, and even my factory, then goes wrong. I could hang fins up on the wall. So it really helped. It also helped me to understand the tools when I'm shaping as well, which is very important. And so I did a 5-year trade. Then from there, I got too busy making surfboards at night. So I told my boss, sorry, but you must understand I have to leave now because I'm working too hard at night time and I can't keep up. And then I started a surf company called War Surfboards. A friend of mine and we started, it's almost like the varsity age, when guys go to varsity, that sort of age. And we did it for 3 years. It was a nice lifestyle. Whenever the waves up, we could just shut shop and go surfing and come back and catch up and work a little bit at night time. And then Graham Hines, who owned Safari at the time, he said, he was looking for somebody because his shape had left. And he heard that we were going to split, but my friend lost interest. So he invited me to Safari, and I started with him, and we had an amazing career. And that's where I changed the business of Safari. We'd do probably like 3 boards a day, and I changed it to like 5, 6 boards, and so we went up to like 10 boards. And I really enjoyed it, and we focused a lot on the product. And then we had world champions, so Sean Thompson came to us and made him boards, and was really, once you're on that roll, you can't stop. You just keep going because the quality has to be as good as possible. And also, when the guys are riding the board, they know that feeling, they know which is a good board and a bad board. So we had to make sure that all the top surfers that we made boards for had to be really, really finely tuned. So it was all about nice clean curves with little concaves in the bottom. We had foil rails, so you fly an aeroplane, you can look at a wing and you can see the cloud hit the wing, and the wing is fat. You can see the cloud going up. Whereas a surfboard that wants to come across as fast as possible, so you feel no resistance. And so this is the real magical thing about making surfboards, is to feel that feeling. And when you shape the board, you see the guy surfing well. Money can't buy that. It's an amazing feeling. You get so high on that. It's amazing, yeah.
So, wow, you said so many things, actually, I'm very curious. So we'll get back to some of those during the interview. But
Yes.
Going back, one thing that you said, about carpentry and learning, how to use the tools, is something that actually in the it's quite common, among shapers. The first job was like carpenter, and they learn the craft, over there.
Yes.
Doing surfboard, I guess, is much better than do a carpentry job, right? I mean,
yes. With me now, like I'm 75, and I got to keep myself excited. So I look back, I've got all this experience. But then on the one side and the other side, I've got technology, which is my CNC machines that cut my boards out and I fine-tune them. And so for me, every day's got to be better. It can't be the same. So when I come to work, I want to see improvements. Being able to not, we used to hand shape boards with the planer and with sanding machines and hand planes and stuff like that. It was really hard work. And when the computer machines came, because like if I did a board for Sean Thompson, this was a design that I was shaping at like 2:00 in the morning and fine tuning it. Then when the glasses are dry, they'd glass it, and then a couple of days later, Sean would be writing it. And then he'll say, hey, I want more boards like it. Well, other customers say they want boards like that. So you got to reproduce that. So it was difficult.
Yeah.
All you had was basically a template, and the rest was shaped by eye. But now we have CNC machines where we can design the board and CNC cuts it. So your shaping time used to take us like 2 hours to shape a board. Now you can shape a board in 10 minutes. So it makes a big difference, and high quality as well. So your technology is amazing. That's why I can't get myself bored. If I get bored, then I know I need to improve on the technology that we're using.
What is the key learning that you had in shaping surfboards? I heard you shaped more than 90,000 surfboards. What is the key learning that you had from craft?
The main thing is the rocker is very, very important. That is the curve on the board. So what I can actually do is I can say, okay, that's the rocker. Like I turn the board sideways, like I say, there's almost a rocker there. So all those things must flow. So you've got the rocker this way, you've got a curve shape this way, and then you've got the rails that all blend into each other. So again, you feel a board, it's got the taper must feel like almost like you don't feel it, and it slowly gets thinner and thinner. So your taper is so clean. So when the water goes over that rail, it's so have a nice flow. It's almost like looking at going back to the airplane example again, and must go over it nicely. So when the guy does the turn, the water doesn't have any friction, any resistance anywhere. So those are the important things. And the guy, your number one thing in surfing is to do a bottom turn. Number one. And if you can't do a bottom turn, your board doesn't work. That's your key example of does your board work or not. And this is what the guys look for. So they'll take off on the wave, and whether they're going to pull the barrel, they have to do that. You'll see today the guys really use that bottom turn. If there's a fast barrel breaking there, they'll turn, and you suddenly see they do that, and they shoot you through to get through that curl. And also when they do their maneuvers off the bottom and off the top. So the greatest thing to see in the surfboard is you're standing on the beach, you see his bottom deck, you see his top deck. That's a sign of a good surfboard. So okay. It's funny, the basics of surfing never changes, although the designs change so much. But the basics are always the same. And now the guys are going into the air. And that's a whole nother level where the wind is a big factor, because if you had foot straps, it doesn't matter. You can do an aerial and you'll land it like a windsurfer or a kiteboard or any other craft like that. But with surfing, you don't have straps. So because you've got to put your feet backwards and forwards to get the speed. So when you go into the air and there's a slight wind, you've got to make sure that the wind is blowing under the board to keep the board on your feet. And then you go down, you touch down like an aeroplane land. So
yeah, it's quite a lot of evolution, from but I agree. Like the basic are there, the basic are standard, but it's impressive now what the boards can do versus maybe when you started, right?
Yeah.
So shaping and
so what we do is I practice the technique every day, and when I get customers, and especially they beginners, and I shortcut it. Instead of having to go through the whole learning thing that we went through, I can shortcut it and say, hey, all you need to do is you lie down, you jump up, and you put your feet in the correct position. So your feet must be on the stringer, the front foot and the back foot too. Must be divided nicely, not too far on one side or the other side, and that way you're in the right position. Then you can turn, and now it's like a car. You're steering it with your feet, so you keep on turning it to get the speed. So I have a little routine that I teach my team, and I teach all surfers, and you can grade those surfers A to D. And what I do is, if you have guys on the world tour, you grade them from between 8 and 10. If they score between 8 and 10, they are A surfer. If they score between 6 and 8, then they're B. And they score between 4 and 6, then they're C. And they score from 0 to 4, then they're D. So whenever we grade anybody, so what are you scoring in your contest heats? And they tell you, say, well, that's where your grade is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. And then you know exactly what model surfboard the guy needs to ride, and until he can score the higher score, then he moves into the next grade. So it's a
good technique. Huh? It's a good strategy. I mean,
yes, yeah, and it's a lot of fun too. It doesn't matter, the person's is between 0 and 4. It's fun. It's exciting because he's going to experience something ahead of him that every day he goes surfing, he's going to improve, and he's going to slowly move from D to C, and so he goes up the line.
Yeah, it gives another challenge, if you want to say, like another opportunity to do better.
Yes, it's nice to keep it exciting, and it's nice to also share the stoke with the surfers that that they just started. Maybe they've been surfing for a month or 6 months, whatever it is, and they're excited, and we've got to make sure they keep excited. And my big thing here in my business is to make sure the guys get the right board. That's so important. You don't want somebody going to something that a B surfer or A surfer rides, and he's only a D or a C. So you've got to make sure that he's riding on your intermediate board, which we have, when the guys learn, they learn on a slightly bigger board. And then they can go into my next model, which is called the Flying Saucer, which has a wider nose and a wider tail. So there's quite a range of underboards as well. So the Flying Saucer is 30 size weight for them. Whereas the bombs and super bombs, they're good for the UK with the waves that are a bit weaker. And the guys can get some speed, yeah.
Let's talk about the relationship, as you were saying, between a surfer and a shaper.
Yes.
And
yes.
I would like to know more about the relationship that you have with the world champion like Sean Thompson, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me more about this relationship that ended up into winning world titles? And I guess,
it's actually very amazing because they're so professional. And Sean Thompson especially, he's probably the most professional guy I've come across. And if he says, he'll say to me, okay, Spider, what time shall we meet? I'll say, okay, let's meet at 3:00. And I promise you, I look at the clock like that, it's going through the hand goes up control, and there you walk in the door. Not 3:05 or 10 past or before, he comes exactly at 3:00 to show you his professionalism, that he doesn't put you out when you're in the right frame of mind, you're not frustrated, and he's going to get the best out of you possible. And then from there, we make his surfboard, and then he's excited. He's excited. This is like money can't buy what he's going to get. He's so excited, and he gets his board, and then what he does, he goes and sit. And he'll come back to me straight after coming up the water. I'm the first person he sees to tell me if the board works or it doesn't work. And this is how committed they are. And this is how professional they are. So their surfboards are like gold. And that's how they treat them. And I remember the one time Sean was practicing for one of the contests, and one of the guys mistakenly surfed into him and dinged his rail. Oh my goodness, mate. He went off. He just said, "What is wrong with you? How can you do this to me? I'm surfing an important contest." And that's how frustrated, this is how committed they are to what they do. So Sean Thompson is probably one of the greatest examples of a professional surfer. And they basically started off with professional surfing. It's him and Wayne Bartholomew. And you can learn so much from those guys. And I can always go back to Sean Thompson if I've got new team riders coming up. Also go back to Sean's way of what he did on the World Tour, and it still works today. It's amazing. And the other thing is they're very cool people. They're very relaxed. They don't get frustrated. And when the waves are pumping and they're paddling, well, get up the wave. They're going to perform. Stay out their way, whatever you do. If you're in their way, they'll let you know. Because they're so committed to catching that wave and what they actually do on the wave, because the whole world's watching them.
Yeah, it actually is. You said one important thing is like, they are relaxed. They know what to do. They know their job, but they are relaxed. They don't stress that too much, that actually can be counterproductive, right?
And, we look at the world and look at how they Russian train, and we've had a few problems here in our own country. And you look at all the crime and the things that go on, and it's like, and in surfing, we look at it and say, what about really? How can we do such silly things? I mean, I had partners in my business, and they get a little clever. Surfers have such a good attitude of doing things where we share, we're friendly, we enjoy what we do, and we don't want to see anybody in poverty. There must be food for everybody. There must be a house for everybody, and we look after the environment. And when we go surfing and we see plastic bags in the ocean, we're so unhappy when we see it, because it's spoiling such a good thing. And instead of having these silly walls, why don't we clean up the oceans and looking after the environment and vegetarian? I'm a vegetarian, basically. I eat meat once every now and again, but I don't really want to. And because of my health, I need to, tomorrow morning I'm surfing, and I'm getting in the water at 5:30. So I skateboard before I surf, warm up my muscles, and I get up at like before 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep. So I go to sleep at 8 o'clock, and I wake up around about 2. So I get up and I prepare my food, I do my smoothies, I prepare my lunch, vegetables, do a bit of sort of whole wheat toast and stuff. And I just try to eat as healthy as possible. I get that all ready, and then I just run through an exercise program just so that I don't hurt my knees. I just do my stretches so you don't pull any muscles, because if you don't do any exercise, you pat your phone, you suddenly jump up, you can pull a muscle that puts you out the water. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So I found a little program. It just takes me 15, 20 minutes. I run through those every morning, and then I can myself read. I go surfing, and then my body doesn't get hurt anywhere. And I can surf as hard as I can, and it still operates something.
Yeah, it keeps you fit, and that's so important,
yes.
right? So keep doing that program. It works.
Yeah. Especially your lie down stand up. That's where you can actually jerk and hurt yourself. When you jump up and you suddenly do a sudden movement, and then and if you haven't warmed those muscles up, then you're going to injure them. You don't want that.
Yeah. In your opinion, what was the most important moment of your career so far?
I had a lot of important moments, but going to Hawaii, spending time with Sean, and working with a lot of the top surfers in the world. There was a lot of things that were really important. There were people like Graham Himes. He's probably one of the best coaches in the world. Everybody learned from him. He was my partner, and he's 92 today, and he's still very, very active. And he taught me to get up early. Number one, get up early, and let's get to the beach. Let's warm up. Let's go surfing. And when we finish surfing, get back to your job as quickly as you can. Don't let your work suffer. Be at work on time. Have your smoothie, have your coffee, and be ready for the guys. So when they arrive, we do our work and make sure that the customers get their boards as quickly as possible. So I'm going for something. That's just so those are the things that really helped me a lot. And what happened from that, I surfed my country. I surfed for my province around South Africa, which I shouldn't have. But this routine we had made me. I was capable of doing those things. So those were very important to me. And also, Sean Thompson said to me, "Spider, the waves are big. They're pumping these barrels. Please, can you be out there with me?" I said, "Yeah, okay, okay." So I'm out there. It's 10 foot solid, and I'm out there with Sean. And all of a sudden, he influenced me into surfing good big waves, barrels. I was getting barrels and everything, and so those were like the really important things in my life. So that it gave me the opportunity to go surfing on any craft and experience. But I don't take a second-hand information from any surfer. I'm getting the true information from myself. And then, so I did boards for all the guys, all the top guys in the world. And then windsurfing came along, and some of the guys came to me and asked me to make windsurfers. So I did that. And then one of the guys said, "Oh, what a Spider does? He doesn't windsurf. He doesn't know." I thought, "Oh, okay." I'll show you. I jumped in the windsurf. And then we were wave sailing. They were wave sailing on windsurfers. So we'd be wave sailing on windsurfers, and then we'd be surfing contests, and then I had to take up martial arts because we're getting injured in windsurfing because you get a wipeout and you're still stuck in your straps, so you're getting rolled and knocked and everything like that. So I took up martial arts, and that stopped all the injuries, to make me strong, because they were doing jumping and martial arts and punching and stuff, so your body became a lot stronger. And I ended up surfing against the world champion, Mike Walsh. I nearly beat him at the local punch. And I nearly beat him. Thank goodness I didn't, because Rip Bill brought him out here. But very cool guy, and you learn so much about what windsurfing and how it's done, and the foils and the fins and everything like that. All those little things helped us coming back to surfing again and putting into our craft. We can nearly, it's like a Ferrari. They've got the Ferrari bottle. Everybody's looking at it, it's beautiful, and you go, wow, how can you improve on that? And it's exactly our surfboards. When at the top of the range, which is the high performance board, so I'm doing for one of the guys here is going on the water, and we really fine tuning it, spending time with it, and it's on my computer, so I can just run it off. I can adjust a little couple of things there, and that filters off to the rest of the guys as well. So I've got young guys coming through, I've got good girls coming through. So we have to be ready for them, and same thing with Sean. They want to go on tour, and we have to make sure they get the service from us.
You were talking about Sean Thompson, of course. It's great surfers, but in your life, you met a lot of different surfers and champions. Yes. Was there a meeting that was particularly meaningful for you?
So basically, I had all the Aussie guys. They came to me, really, really good, and they were all legends. Shane Oran, Mark Richards. I didn't work with Simon Anderson, but I worked with a lot of the other guys, surfing thrusters, and through the years, I also spent a bit of time with Kelly Slater as well. And Martin Potter was a very important guy. He rode the twin fin, and he was the 16-year-old kid that we did boards for, and he ended up being world champion. And he had a beautiful technique, and he was so fast. And he was one of the. So it was Sean and Martin Potter. Those were the main guys that I had experienced. Really, really helped me in my career. And then there were a lot of the Hawaiians as well. I spent time with them. Hawaiians are amazing people. The whole family are like a family to me, and they I invited them around to my house for dinner because they had like 3 contests in a row, so they were just like living in hotels, eating out of restaurants. So I invited them to my home. I said, listen, come for a dinner. My wife will make you dinner. Wow, I tell you what, from that day, we were family. It's like they said to me, don't you dare come to Hawaii and hire a car or stay in a hotel. You come to us. So, and the whole family have always been family to me. And, they lost Derek Ho the other day. And Derek was amazing. I saw him in Tahiti. And he showed me deep respect for that. And so we had the Hawaiians, and then also good friends in Brazil. Brazil, we're very, they're very warm people, and I enjoy them. And also the Japanese were amazing as well. Japan, like 17 times did boards because of the Sean Thompson thing, and I'm still doing boards for them. And then I got service all around the world, from France, UK, Germany, everywhere, Italy, yeah. And, I look up to the Italians. Geez, I tell you what, make beautiful cars. They good GP riders, unbelievable. And you've got your guy now on the world tour, and he's doing really good. And so Italians are amazing too. I love the food. I've been taught by Italians to make pizzas, so I do a really good job.
Okay. So that's good.
It's very good. Thin base, very, very healthy. Yeah.
It's okay for one pizza once in a week.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. So you were saying before that you are pretty busy, between like surfboards innovation, shaping, the shaping bay. Is there a project that you are working on today that is very important for you that you'd like to share?
Yes. So there's a lot of waste in surfboards. So I want to recycle all my waste, and I want to end up with my dirt boxes like empty. There's nothing getting thrown away. So I'm starting to make skateboards. I've got a really nice model which is super loose, so I want to use up all my waste in those. And we just want to look after the environment and keep everything as clean as possible. And I want to also vacuum. I also want to do an infusion vacuum where you have the pipes and you have a bowl of resin and you suck it into the plastic bag that glasses of water all one time, and then when the air comes out the other side, you just tap off the pressure, and then it stays in and it gels. And you open it up, and so everything that all the plastic we use for the infusion glass and want it recycled. I don't want to be throwing plastic away. So we sort of able to open the mold, take the board out, and then close it again and do the next board. So I'm just working hard on that at the moment. I've got it all set up, and so it's basically cutting waste down and doing what I love listening to the billionaires. The billionaires is 5% of the world are billionaires, and the other 95% are not. And so we learn from them all the time, and it's very connected to the Bible and stuff like that. And that's where all our law comes from. So I'm a Christian, but I still believe in, I respect all the other religions. I don't hold any offense against anybody, because we all pray to God and Jesus, and that's very important in our lives. So the billionaires have taught me so much, and it's so important to respect the people that work here and make sure we do things right. And if we do it wrong, just rectify it. Tomorrow we fix it and make it right. So right now I'm reading. So you have your conscious mind, which does all your thinking. You have your subconscious mind, which does all the doing. So I'm actually reading that now, and it's teaching me so much, and just your attitude and things like that. It's just amazing. And if you want a healthy life, think healthy life. If you want a successful life, think it. So whatever you're going to do, whatever you think, is that's actually who you are, which is such an important thing. We like to pass it down to the kids coming through, so they can have that same attitude, and sure our world will start changing very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. You said so many important things, and I agree with you. Like you need to think what you want to be. If you really want to get that.
Yes.
And definitely we go back to what we said at the beginning of our interviews about the environment, about the ocean. If we respect the ocean, of course, we should not polluting while doing our surfing activity, being a shaper, a surfer, or whoever is involved into.
And you can take the top 24 surfers, and every single one of them will agree about looking, about being eco-friendly and saving the planet. Every one of them know it, because we see such beauty. And when you go and you see a dirty ocean with debris and stuff like that, and we go, oh, this is not cool. I mean, what about the poor fish? What's going on there? I'd jump over, and I go to Indonesia, Hawaii, everywhere. You always jump over the side of the boat or whatever and have a look at the sea life. It's just so beautiful. And to look again and see where there's debris and stuff, and you go, hey, where did the sea life go? It's like, this is important, and it should be getting better, not getting worse.
Exactly. I agree with you. We're going to finish our interview with a short question and answer session. So please answer the first thing that comes up to your mind, okay?
Yes.
The best surfboard that you ever ridden?
The best surfboard I've ever ridden is, I would say, my missile board, which is very, very fast. It has deep concaves in the bottom. And I designed it to go into places of the wave where you can't really go. So it holds it nicely, and it gets a lot of speed. And when you do a maneuver and you do a close-up maneuver, you still come out of the close-up maneuver, do a bottom turn and climb the foam. So that's my famous board. So I'm searching where I can find the board when you get into the whitewater, you get that lift and you get that speed again, you get going again. So that's what I'm working very hard on. So I'm working on that model, and it's getting better and better all the time. So hopefully one day I can get the top riders to test it for me and really give it a proper workout.
Okay, definitely. Your favorite shaper of all time?
Well, there are a lot of good shapers today, but I would say the guys that we learned the most from is Hawaiian Dick Brewer.
Yeah.
And Mark Durfer, those guys, did it the hard way with that quality. They're really, really good shaping. So you've got to give it to them. Guys they don't work like they do. And I mean, they take a block of foam and they shape into a beautiful product. And you have to give it to those guys. Yeah.
Of course, I totally agree with you. Personal question: your favorite song?
So us shapers, we listen to a lot of music. So sure, it's actually every day we hear new music, and I think the group that actually relates to what we do is I love. I'm on vacation, and I love my occupation. I'm trying to think of the word now. They were called the Dirty Heads.
Okay.
And that's actually the favorite. It actually grows on you, and it's on your mind all the time. So you see, I'm on vacation, and I love my occupation. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Your favorite surf spot?
Favorite surf spot has to be Ponta d'Ora. That's in Mozambique, just north of us. It's warm water, and it's a beautiful point break, sand point break. It's got a bit of a rock where you jump off. Yeah, well, rocky, and you go around the corner, but it really gets big. You sit around the corner. So that's my favorite. If I took a whole lot of boards and I wanted to go somewhere to test them, that's where I would go.
Okay. Favorite surfer of all time?
Well, Kelly Slater. Kelly Slater's always been our favorite, eh? But Philippe Toledo is getting good, eh? I mean, he's really. Kelly Slater stands there. What he's done is unbelievable. And you can still see he's still capable at his age. And then my favorite at the moment is Philip Toledo.
And the last question is a little bit unusual. We ask everyone on the show. We want to know your best relationship advice.
Yeah, I think we've got to show respect to people and also watch what we say and how we say it. So you don't want to point a finger at somebody, but you want to show them the right way without hurting you. So that's really important.
I totally agree with you. Thank you, Mr. Murphy, for being on the show with me today. And I look forward to talk to you very soon. It's been very interesting.
Yes, nice. And it's great talking to you as well.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Nice afternoon.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!